All right, y'all, what's going on, man? It's your boy JevonAmir back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be showing y'all how y'all can make a lot of money using trading views indicators. This is what I use to make me a lot of money on my Webull account, which is my personal account, and on my funded accounts that I have with Take Profit Trader, because I am funded with Take Profit Trader. That's the only platform I use. I will eventually branch off into another platform, but that'll be later in time. I'll do that later. But let's go ahead and get the video started. I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all how to do this on what indicators I use, what all the indicators are. I'm gonna go ahead and show y'all that. So don't mind all this right now that you're seeing on the screen. I don't use all these indicators. I really don't. Only a couple of them I use, and a lot of them I use just for alerts also. So for example, let me go ahead and pull this over right here. Now these right here, you can go ahead and pause the video. You can pause it, take a screenshot. But the ones that I have highlighted are the indicators that I use. These are the ones that I use for my funded account, my personal account, and these are the ones that I use all the time. Now, most of these I will be going over the ones that I don't use like that. So and also I have these all set as alerts too. Not all of them, but a lot of these I have as alerts. So let me show you right here. You're gonna click on right here. These are all the alerts that I have right here for my 1 hour and 45-minute time frame. Once these alerts go off is when I get ready to trade. I'll make sure my setup is good. I'll check for everything. I'll check for my confirmation and that the buyers or sellers are stepping in. I'll go ahead and wait for confirmation. Once I have confirmation, that's when I'm entering the trade. But these are alerts, they ping your phone. So cause I trade off my phone. I don't trade on my computer like that like I used to. I do. But I mean, it's just a preference, honestly. Which when you're starting out as a beginner, I highly recommend that you're trading on a computer. Trade on a computer. No ifs, ands, or buts. Trade on your computer. But if you've been here for a long time and you know what you're doing, then you can trade on your phone or an iPad if you have one or anything like that. It don't matter. But these are what I use. I use the VWAP. Okay, I use fair value gap, so I don't have to identify them in the middle of me trading. It just pops up as it happens. Now, dang, my bad. What I will say is when you're doing this video, like I mean not doing this video, but when you're doing a trade, make sure that you know what you're looking at. So just because you have the indicators here, don't just go ahead and take a screenshot and copy all my indicators and you don't know what they do. That is how you're going to lose a lot of money. You don't want to do that. You want to know what the indicators do. So if you know what a fair value gap is, you want to go behind the AI that's doing it and make sure that it's a fair value gap because it could always be wrong. But you don't want to check. You want to know what it is so you can check and make sure that it is. So with that being said, these are all the ones that I have. Support and resistance with the mean reversion strategy. I don't really use it like that. I don't really use support and resistance. I used to, but not as much as I do now. I don't really use it. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. The main ones that I really use are the higher lows and the higher highs, and the lower lows and the lower highs. Those are what I'm usually using. The fair value gap, the VWAP, stuff like that. Those are what I'm using all the time. So, and you got the liquidity swings, the liquidity pools, like where the liquidity lies at. You also want to have those too, so you can make sure that that's another confirmation thing that you want. So you can make sure that liquidity is swept first before you're just entering, because you don't just want to enter and then liquidity hasn't been swept yet, and then now you're about to get turned into liquidity, and then you're finna get stopped out. So you don't want that to happen. So with that being said, supply and demand, I do use supply and demand a lot actually. Not as much as I used to, but I do use supply and demand. I would say that it is good with the mean reversion strategy. That is very good that you want to use. I don't use trend lines. I have this mark, but like I said, a lot of this stuff I have this there, but I don't really use it. Like it's just been there for a long time. I don't really use trend lines. I used to use it with a different strategy that I had a long time ago. But as of now, I don't use trend lines no more. I don't use that indicator no more. So honestly, I can keep that marked off so y'all don't get confused about that. Because I don't use trend lines, and I don't want y'all using something that I don't use no more with my strategy. Because my strategy is mean reversion, as y'all know this already. So, and we're not using that. We do use the change of structure, the break of structure, and liquidity sweeps. You do use those. But I do believe for you to have some of these indicators on here, for you to have some of them, I do believe you have to have a subscription with TradingView. So if you don't have a subscription with TradingView, you can't do it. I think the subscription that I pay for is like, I think it's like $70, something like that. Something around there is $70 a month. But you can afford to pay $70 a month when you're making a lot more than that when you're trading. So that's neither here or there. But that's also a good thing to have. So you do need to have a subscription to have any of this. Not all of them. I do believe it's a lot of them. But keep in mind, this indicator is only for to help you. Like, it's not needed at all. You don't have to use it. You don't need them. I just use it to save me time, because when I'm waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning, I don't want to have to sit there and wake up at 4 a.m. in the morning, then look for a higher low, look for the lower lows, look for the lower highs, check and see if it's a break of structure. I don't want to have to do all that. I can just go behind the AI and make sure that it's there. Like, it might have it marked at a higher high, but I'll go back and check and make sure if it is an actual higher high, because it's not always guaranteed. The computer could mess up at any time. It's not guaranteed. So you want to be able to know that. You want to know the knowledge of what you're looking at, not just because it's there. Like, oh, it's there, I'm just gonna put it in. No. You need to actually know what you're looking at. You need to study the chart. You need to know what you're looking at and use this as a guide or to just help you, so it makes it easier for you. So it's a lot easier. This is not nothing. It's not like a cheat sheet or nothing like that. It's just something to help you to make sure that you know what you're doing. And to honestly to save you a lot of time. This does, like, before I had alerts set to go off at a certain time whenever it do. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I was looking at charts almost all day until I got my trade that I wanted. And who wants to do that? Like, it's so boring. Like, when I can be doing stuff with my life, and then as I'm doing stuff, I have my phone on me at all times. Whenever I get a trade, whenever something goes off, it'll be like ding, it'll go off, and then I'll get the take profit trader. I mean, not take profit trader. The trading view notification. I can't show y'all right now. I'm trying to look. I don't see nothing on here right now. So I already opened up the notification that I had from today, so I can't show y'all what it looks like. But it'll go straight to your phone and it'll alert your phone, and then that's when you'll, like a regular notification. So that'll help you a lot. And then once you have those, all these other ones that I have blacked out, the funny thing is that this is when I used to, like, not know what I was doing with trading. I was just trying stuff out. But now, as you know, that I have like an actual system now and I know what I'm doing, these are the only trading view indicators that I use. These are all the ones that you need that really make a lot of money that you can use. Honestly, these are the best things that you can get. Now, I will say, like I said, you have to spend $70, but it's not a lot when you already making more than that trading. So you're good. But and then I do recommend, after you're trading, I do recommend you getting a TradeZella account so you can keep up with all your trades and stuff like that, depending on what broker you're using or what platform you're using. So that does matter a lot. But that's neither here or there. So the trading, not trading view, and I will be going over in another video. I will be going over of how to identify these are, like what a higher high is, what a higher low is, what a fair value gap is. But honestly, if you're looking at this video right now, you probably already know what all this is. You're probably not even, I shouldn't even have to tell you what all this is. You probably already know what all this is. So you're just using this the same thing I am as an indicator. So when you're trading, you don't have to stare at the charts all day. Because I do know a lot of friends. Well, now I'm not going to say a lot of friends, but I have a couple of friends that use trading view indicators and they don't know what they're doing. So it's like, it's pointless to use it if you don't know what you're doing. That's why you want to learn how to use it first and then apply the indicators. So that's why you paper trade first, okay? So then, boom, once you got the paper trading going, you'll have a break of structure on a 1 hour, So like, a lot of this stuff is helpful. A lot of it's helpful. It saves you time. That's the whole point of it, to save you time. So you don't have to go back and check it every time. And with you doing that, it'll change your process a lot easier. I'm telling y'all. When I learned about this, when I learned how to set indicators, bro, that is literally how I passed that funded account. With how I passed all my other funded accounts, how I passed that funded accounts with no loss, all of that. This is how I did it. When I figured out that you could set alerts, and I figured out that you could do alerts on TradingView, and it would just save you time, and it could always ping my phone. That way I'm not just always staring at the charts every day. Like, who wants to do that? So when I learned how to do that, it was a lot easier. Honestly, it was a lot easier. Saved me time having to do all that extra more work. But that's all I wanted to go over in this video. And make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate everybody for tuning into this video. And I'll see y'all in the next video.